Hello, my name is McLean. I am a commercial and wedding filmmaker outside of Vancouver, Canada. And today I want to talk about the M1 MacBook Pro and if the M1 Macs can be a filmmaker's full-time editing machine. Spoiler alert, yeah. So this was my big question when Apple made the announcement that they were switching to their own silicon. During the announcement, they said a lot of impressive numbers and a lot of impressive improvement gains came from their new chip, but it all seemed way too good to be true. I wasn't even necessarily in the market for a new machine. I was on a 2015 5K iMac, pretty happy with. It was definitely starting to get a little slow when editing a lot of 4K footage, but it wasn't ruining my life. But I don't know, all those numbers and claims Apple was making just seemed really attractive if it was even close to being true. So it got to the point where I was like, I think I'm gonna try this. So when I finally got my hands on it, I was really impressed by the size. A part of me was wondering if 13 inches would be too small. 15 inches was always a bit bulky to me. I have an old MacBook Pro that's that size and it was just a bit too much. This size seems to be just right. It's perfect for location shoots, if you're traveling, need to edit on the go, or if you want to plug it in at home, work on a bigger display. The keyboard is awesome. The trackpad, so great, which is important, especially if you're going to use those for editing. You want to make sure they're good. I know there was so many people complaining about the old keyboard. I never used it, so I don't know, but this keyboard is by far the best experience typing I've had on any machine. The trackpad, I've never actually been a big trackpad fan, but this one kind of changed my mind. It's very enjoyable to use. The touch bar, it's not something I really care about. I don't hate it, I don't love it, it's fine. My biggest gripe with this machine, and I feel like a lot of other filmmakers will feel this way, is the lack of ports. There's only 2 USB-C ports, 1 headphone jack. I can live with it, but I really wish Apple just put 2 more on the other side, like the older MacBooks, the Intel ones. Apple being Apple. The battery life is very impressive. Apple, across all their machines, has had great battery life in my experience, so my expectations were pretty high. My first little while using the machine, I was just doing some basic tasks for like a full hour, and I checked the battery life, still at 100%. And I had the screen on bright, I wasn't trying to conserve battery at all, and it was great. I've edited some projects on it without it plugged into the wall, no problem. If you're using the machine lightly, you can easily go like a week without even thinking about charging. And now editing performance in Final Cut Pro, shocking. It's honestly shocking at how good it is. It is so quick, whether you're converting files, optimizing footage, creating proxies, if you're grading, using multiple LUTs, it's actually very, very robust for like a MacBook. It's crazy to me that this 13-inch computer is better than my old 5K 27-inch iMac. It's so small, the thing barely makes a noise. The fans turn on here and there. It's wild to me how powerful this small, tiny machine is. It's actually really, it's kind of changed how I think about editing. Like, this is the first laptop I've used where I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know if I'll go back to a desktop machine now. If this is the performance I can expect with the cameras I use, the footage I edit, I do a lot of documentary, wedding work, commercial work, and this thing is doing the job for me, and it's, what, $3,000 and a bit? No brainer. I don't need to worry if this machine can handle what I'm gonna throw at it. Even with native files, I mainly use the Canon C70 and the R5, and I don't need to make proxies, I don't need to optimize the footage. That's kind of shocking. A lot of filmmakers I know, you probably would agree that that seems too good to be true, but in my experience, that's what this computer's done for me. So if you're a filmmaker, should you pick up an M1 Mac? If you're an Apple user, I think you should. If you're in the market, if you are happy with your Mac now, don't rush out and get this. But if you're starting to see performance lag a bit, and you want a new powerful machine and you're wondering if this machine can handle it, in my experience, it can handle everything I throw at it. So I'm really, really happy with this, especially for the price. Now I will likely pick up the next version of the rumored iMac that Apple's probably gonna put out with the M1X or M2, whatever they're gonna call it. But this computer honestly has me kind of second guessing that decision. So we'll see when it comes out, but this machine is doing everything I need it to do and doing it really well. So I hope this video was helpful. If you're a filmmaker and you like this video, if you think I'm like an okay guy, maybe like and subscribe and hang out for a while. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. YouTube.com